What's good, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world watching this. Give everyone a minute to hop up in the building. It's a hot one today. Well, it's 90 degrees right now here in South Carolina. I'm on my way to Georgia, because I got to work tomorrow. So had a good time with the fam this weekend. Today is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I was able to spend some time with my wife today for Mother's Day. And yesterday, and the day before. I've been home since Friday, so right now I'm on my way back to Dalton, Georgia. Little Mexico. A lot of Hispanic folks in Dalton, Georgia, bank. But that also means good video. Good video. Anyway, how y'all doing this afternoon? It is Sunday, May 14th, 2023. Wow. We're halfway through May already. Time is flying this year. Time is flying. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing pretty damn good myself. Doing my thug dizzle, make it rain and drizzle. I wanted to, I really wasn't going to talk about the Eboni K Williams thing, but, there's a lot that could be learned from that situation. I don't know, many of you might not even be familiar with who Eboni K Williams is. She is essentially a newscaster, and she's on some show. She's a black woman, a successful black woman who's on TV and gives her opinions about shit. I think she's on BET or something. I don't remember. But she had Iyanla Vanzant on her show. And those of you who are familiar or not familiar with Iyanla Vanzant, she has this show called Iyanla Vanzant Fix My Life, where she basically helps people get through tough times, you know what I'm saying? She helps families by counseling them and getting them through tough times by giving them different perspectives and giving them different ideas on how to handle conflict within family. And Eboni K Williams had her on the show. And Eboni K Williams was asking her that are able to provide, protect, all this other shit, right? Saying that black women are, have the most businesses and the most educated, all these things, the same kind of talking points that certain type of women and certain people, so-called feminists, have been pushing for years now. There's not enough black men who are providers. There's not, you know what I mean? They don't own enough businesses. They don't make enough money. Black women are making more money and they're more educated and this, that, and the third. It's like, where she's skewing the statistics, okay? And so she's asking Iyanla Vanzant, how do we handle the logistics of that? How do we find men, traditional men basically, when most men aren't providing and protecting and doing all these things? Well, Tiana asked her, would she date a bus driver? And Eboni K Williams said, if he drives the bus. And Iyanla Vanzant told her that's the problem, right? Oh, I'll date a bus driver if he drives the bus, okay? And like I said, Iyanla Vanzant kind of got on her head about that and was like, see, that's the problem, because I would date a bus driver. We're basically saying that black men, or men who have average everyday 9-to-5 jobs, are not good enough to have women that would consider themselves to be, valuable women, or desirable women. And people's like Eboni K Williams' minds, a woman with a degree, who earns a lot of money, who is like sort of like a captain of industry, they have this high powered job and all this other shit. They feel like that is considered high, like a valuable woman, or a desirable woman. And in reality, it really is not. But forget that. Eboni K Williams says she would not date a bus driver who didn't own the bus. And, at the end of the day, that's her preference, right? That's her preference. That's what she wants. That's what she likes. She has every right to express that and to say that. She has every right to do that, because at the end of the day, she has to deal with the man that she is going to end up being with. So it's not for other people to tell her, oh, it's wrong for you to want a man, or not want a man who doesn't own the bus, or isn't a business owner, or who doesn't have high earning potential, or is a high earner, or is established financially already, right? That's up to her individual preference. People were getting on her head about it. People were like, oh, that's wrong, this, that, and the third. And, all she was saying is she wouldn't date that. And then Iyanla Vanzant said she would date a bus driver. Because, and then Iyanla Vanzant is right too. Like, just because the man drives a bus and maybe isn't like a high earner, isn't making 6 figures or more, doesn't mean that you can't have a stable family foundation with that man. Doesn't mean that you guys can't be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And look, in this day and age, in the United States, very difficult to have a single income household that is going to sustain a big. And most families where you have a lot of kids, or any kids, both parents are working. It's very rare that you can have somebody that can earn enough money for the other spouse to not have to work, right? I'm fortunate enough, me and my wife are fortunate enough to where she doesn't have to work. She hasn't had to work in 13 years. And it hasn't always been smooth sailing, right? There's been struggles, but I've always been able to maintain that, because it's important for us to have the ability to have our kids be educated at home, not have to go to daycare, not have to do, not have to deal with all the BS, right? And Eboni K Williams is looking from a lens of a person who is part of an elite class. Eboni K Williams is part of the elite class, right? Be she black or white, she's black, but she is part of the elite class. They see things different because they're around more elite people, right? That are established, that have money. They run in circles where most of the people are the 10% or more, 10% or less earners. 15%, 5%, hell, even 3%. And so she is looking at the world through a lens of that, of a woman who runs around and exists in a circle of people who are established, high-earning people, right? So you got to look at it from the lens she's looking at it from, because she's ignorant. Now, I don't know much about her upbringing and how she was raised, or whether she was raised in a wealthy family, or not even necessarily wealthy, but in a family where, you know, they had bread. I have no idea, but that may be the case. And if that's the case, it makes even more sense that she would have that thought process. So, her having the preference of not dating a bus driver who doesn't own the bus, perfectly well within her rights. And that's how most women are, okay? 80% of women feel like that they're too good to date a bus driver. 80% of women want the same 20% of men. Those 80% of women, they don't believe that a bus driver can provide them with the lifestyle they feel they deserve. And so most women think like Eboni K Williams in regards to hypergamy. Women in general are hypergamous. Women want to be provided for, they want to be protected, they want to have things, they want to be kept. Most women want to be able to stay at home and raise the children, right? They want to be able to be stay-at-home wives. They want to be able to do that. Even when they're taught, especially in the last generation, that they should be getting their bag first. They should, they should be independent. They should, want to get their education first and earn all this money and establish their career and be in their 40s or 50s or 30s before they start having children. Even though they're being taught that, subconsciously, when they pick a mate in their 20s, in their 30s, when they're at a young age, they are already trying to choose a man who can pay all their fucking bills. Even though they're independent, they're business owners, they want a man who can pay all their fucking bills. Pay all their bills, buy them a house, buy them things, take them out to eat, pay for the food. They want to be independent. They want to be equal to men in every single way, except for when it comes to what role men and women play in a relationship. Not only do these women that have that mind frame where, I'm an independent woman, I'm educated, I got a master's, I got a PhD, I'm a CEO of this company and I make $500,000 a year. They have all this going for them. They're a boss at work, right? Or they have their own business, and most black women who own businesses do not have employees. So technically they're not bosses. But because they have all these things going for them, or what they feel they have going for them, even though they have that, they still want a man who earns more than their $500,000 a year. They want a man, if they're making $500,000 a year, they don't understand why a man isn't making more than that. This is real shit. I watched the Pineapple Show on Melly Monaco's channel. And there was a chick on there who said that she makes nearly $1 million a year. Okay? She makes jewelry for the for celebrities. Okay, she makes custom jewelry for celebrities. And when it's in Pineapple Show, is a dating show, and when she was talking about the type of man she wanted and what how tall he needed to be, how all this, that, and the third, how much money he needed to make, she said that he needed to make like, I want him to make more than me. Now, mind you, she said that she makes $1 million a year, damn near. But she wants a man who earns more than $1 million. More than $1 million, and perhaps somebody who makes $500,000, $600,000 a year. She done already priced herself out of 99% of men. 99% of men are not going to make $1 million a year or more, or even $500,000. Now you're getting into the maybe 2%, 3% of men. You see what I'm saying? Even though she makes all this money, she makes $1 million a year. She ain't got no kids. She would still want, like, right? She wanted to get her career cracking. She's in her 30s or whatever, or late 20s. She wanted to get herself established. She wanted to go get education, all this, that, and the third. She didn't want to be tied down to no man in the early part of her adult life. But now that she has established herself, she still feels like she should be able to get a man that is going to earn more money than her and is going to pay all the bills, pay all the rent, pay all the mortgage, whatever they have. He is supposed to pay 100% of all of the expenses that they have that they share. So if they share an expense, he has to pay 100% of it. And you know, she'll throw in some groceries every now and then. Oh, she'll pay a phone bill here and there. You see what I'm saying? This is the mentality. They want a man who is going to earn way more. They easily want men who are going to earn twice as much money or more that they do. But they still want to have that boss chick mentality when they enter into a relationship. We have to earn their femininity. We have to earn their submission. But they don't have to earn our established financial success. They must benefit from it immediately. And why do I say immediately? Well, because we got to take them on dates. We got to wine and dine them. We got to pay for the big ass tomahawk steaks, or whatever they want to eat. We got to be able to come out the pocket $300, $400, $500, $600 in order for them to even feel like, oh yeah, well, I'll submit a little bit, but I'm going to keep being this hard ass masculine woman until he pays for 8 or 9 meals, and of course I'll give him some sex because I got to keep this flowing. And my sex, my vagina, is all I need to give him. I don't need to give him my submission just yet. No, I don't even need to give him my time just yet. But he needs to give me his money via high-priced meals, gifts, shopping sprees, trips to Dubai, all this type of shit. We got to fly you out somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I got to get flued out. You got to pay for this meal. You got to do this. You got to do that. Off the bat, a man has to show that we can provide. And this is what it's supposed to be, right? This is how we do this. This is how, men provide. Men are providers and protectors. We got to show that we have the capability of doing that right off the bat. And I ain't got no problem with that. That's how it should be. But if you're coming into this thing with this boss chick attitude, this independent woman thing, you're on your phone all day because you answered emails because you feel like you gotta because you're a boss, or you're aggressive, or combative, and bragging about your job and all that third, and you don't want to, like, You don't want to bring the same energy you want brought to you, because it's in a woman's nature to be hypergamous. It's not in their nature to be combative and competitive with the men that they want to, that they're entertaining, the men that are courting them. They're not supposed to be like that. And that's in their 30s, they bad as hell, they're beautiful, you know what I'm saying? They got all this money, they educated, they got this, they're a boss at work, but you can't bring, the man you want is not going to tolerate you bringing that shit to the relationship. But this is what women like Eboni K Williams want. That's why they want the bus driver who owns the bus. You see what I'm saying? Because they feel like, well, the bus driver is not going to be able to provide for my lifestyle. They're not going to be able to buy me a Gucci bag. They're not going to be able to take me on trips. They're not going to be able to do that. He's a bus driver. But the person that owns the bus might be able to take me on a trip or two a year. Might be able to buy me a Chanel bag, whatever the fuck. And that's why we're in the position we're in society. In terms of low birth rates, in terms of, children not replacing their parents, all these things. Listen, our children are supposed to be replacing us, but they're not. I'm talking about as a whole, right? I got 6 kids. My kids have replaced me 3 times. You understand what I'm saying? I'm Gucci. But many other people are not contributing to that. So it's really like, okay, I made 6 children, but what good is that going to do when all these other people aren't making children because they're waiting too late, they're waiting until they're undesirable, they're this, that, and the third. This is a big problem. And it's the whole divide and conquer thing. Just like they do with everything else, right? You got the elemental P community contributing to that as well. You got the elemental P community contributing to the division of men and women. Men and women are supposed to be cooperative with each other. We're supposed to be interdependent. Men and women are interdependent with one another. Saying that you're an independent woman as a point of pride is very sad. And that's partly the reason the black family in the black community is struggling like we are, because we can't come together under one accord and fight for the betterment of the people. And it's these are basic issues, right? These are basic issues. Now you got people out there saying, oh, you shouldn't have kids early. Oh, why would you want to have kids when you're in your 20s, this, that, and third? What do you mean, why? Telling women, oh, yeah, no one, if somebody tells you to start having kids at 22, 23, then they just want you this, that, and the third. They don't want you to live your life, all this, that, and the third. What? Having children and raising children, is that not living life? You can't live life while you're raising your children? I don't understand this whole thing where they're trying to convince women and men not to have kids early, right? Not saying don't go out and get the education, don't go to college, but that doesn't. You can go to college and still start a family as soon as you get out of college. You can meet your husband in college and get married, right? What do you need? You need to live in your 20s single for what? It's kind of crazy. I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you get in your 30s, you're going into high risk pregnancy territory. You're getting into geriatric pregnancy territory, because the woman's body was not designed to be carrying babies in their 40s and 50s, all that good shit. That's not the business. You can live life with children. I did it. I'm doing it now. My wife's doing it. You know what I'm saying? And by the time our youngest is grown, yeah, I'll be 60. But hell, that's still a young man in some regards. If I keep my health up, you know what I'm saying? Stay active, keep my cardiovascular system intact like it is already. I can be 60 years old and go on trips and go sailing and do all the things. Hell, I can do that now. I got kids old enough to watch my kids. Watch my youngest kids. Not necessarily overnight, but you can still live your life. You can still live your life as a parent. Like I said, by the time my youngest is grown, I'll be 48 or 58, right? And my wife will be 51, 52. Still a young woman. Still a young woman. You know what I'm saying? Still able to live their life. Still, we'll still be active. We can still do our thing. And shout out to my wife, who, after having 6 children, had gained weight and weighed up to 180 something pounds, right? And now weighs 135 pounds. I helped my wife lose about 35 pounds. No, 45 pounds. I helped my wife lose 45 to 50 pounds in the last year with my guidance and all that other shit. Essentially, I trained my wife, and she lost, about 50 pounds in 1 year, 12 months. Just to throw that out there, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, me, hell, I'd rather do it like that. I'd rather get the kids out the way early, right? Get the kids out the way early so that, well, it wasn't necessarily early for me. I was 30 when I first started having children. But that's young for a man. That's young for a man. So I was able to live my life in my 20s, traveling the world, sowing my wild oats, doing this, that, and the third. And now, when I'm 58, 60 years old, I'll still be able to do those things. Except to sow the wild oats part. I'm talking about doing other things I want to do. Like fishing all day, riding, just being leisurely, maybe even rock climbing, still hiking, camping. I'd essentially be retired by then in terms of a 9-to-5 job, right? Right now, I plan on stopping my 9-to-5 type of shit next year. So hopefully by next year, I'll be making independent money. That's the goal, making independent money. But, it's this whole idea, and this is why I say this thing with Eboni K Williams speaks to a larger issue. That larger issue is we are telling women that they don't need no man, they don't need to have no kids till later on in their life. Even though you are an independent woman, any man you date has to be able to provide and protect for you and all this other shit. I mean, it's complete and utter nonsense. If you're an independent woman, then you should not be concerned about what a man makes. If he's able to take care of himself, if he, paying his bills, paying his car note, he has a house or an apartment, whatever, he's not living on the streets, he's not a bum, he's able to provide for himself, you should not be concerned in the least about what he earns, what he does for a living. None of that should be your concern, independent woman. It should not. Just like Men don't care about what a woman earns. But we're not saying we're independent. Men understand and recognize, for the most part. I myself have never heard a man say, I don't need no woman. I'm an independent man. I've never heard that. I never heard a man claim to be independent. I never heard a man say that he didn't need no woman. But we do not concern ourselves with what a woman earns. Like when I got with my wife, I didn't give a fuck what I knew she was a receptionist at a nursing school. I didn't care about how much she earned at all. Like that was not any of my concern. None of my concern at all. At all. Period. So again, Eboni K Williams has the right to say everything that she said. She has a right to have a preference, and that just so happens to be her preference. She'd rather date the bus owner than the bus driver. Now, here's where the problem comes in. When she responds to the backlash and goes into, oh, well, you know, I am trying to advance men and all this other shit. Like, the reason she said that was she trying to get men to an advanced place. And, you know, if you don't understand that, you're the same men that got A's and B's and C's and D's in school and this, that, and the third. Basically, you know, I'm not going to allow average and all this other shit. I'm not going to be okay with average and mediocre. Basically saying that the bus driver, the 9-to-5 guy, the blue collar worker is mediocre and average. That's where the problem comes in. But again, she has a right to say that. That's free speech. Now, this is where I say, if you're going to say all that, you best be prepared for the influx of backlash. You thought that you had backlash when you said you wouldn't date a bus driver. You about to get all the backlash now. And yeah, that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now you're getting into broad brush stroking an entire group of men that make this country run. Understand that. Y'all understand, and this especially for women that look down on blue collar workers. If it wasn't for blue collar workers, your ass would still be living in a motherfucking hut or in an igloo if you was in Alaska. Your ass would still be living in a hut. Your ass would still be living in the teepee. Your ass would still be living in the goddamn, a shelter that you built, that your man built in an hour in the forest before. Like, look, if it wasn't for the mediocre men out here, because here's another thing that we have to understand. Not everybody is going to be an elite class business owner, you know what I'm saying, making 6 figures. Somebody has to work as a plumber. Somebody has to drive the bus. Somebody has to drive to do the train. Somebody has to drive the trucks that bring us the provisions. Somebody has to work at the gas station. Somebody has to do this. Like, everybody is not going to be a financially independent, I'm my own boss type shit. Everybody ain't built like that. Somebody has to put on their fucking tools and get out there and make shit work. I would say we're more valuable, and I'm talking about blue collar workers. Blue collar workers such as myself are more valuable than the captains of industry in them fucking buildings up there, where with their tie and suits, making $405 to $100 an hour, because they know how to talk well, because they got the gift of gab, because they know how to manipulate and they have charisma and all these other things. Whereas men like me have chosen, hey, I don't got the energy to fucking, I ain't got the energy to finesse people. I ain't got the energy to grease palms. I ain't got the energy for that. I'm gonna get me some tools, and I'm gonna make it work that way. Me, myself, I'm transitioning into the palm greasing type of thing in regards to what I do for a living right now, right? Construction. I am in management now, and so I do have to have a level of decorum. I have to have a level of charisma, which I do have. I have some levels of charisma in order to operate the way I operate right now as a supervisor. Now, I am transitioning again into another position that I would need to have a little bit more charisma and a little bit more, all that. I'm getting further and further away from my tools, but I had my tools on for 16 years, helping make shit work. That's what needs to be understood. When when y'all choose somebody that y'all want to spend your life with, I would think long and hard about who is going to be more valuable, who would be more valuable in a world that didn't have all these creature comforts, where all this technology. They always trying to get me to save time.
For 65 miles.
God damn, Charlotte. Anyway, some bullshit. Anyway, so like I was saying, when you choose somebody, think about that. What if an EMP went off and that white collar man who earns all this money, talking on the phone all day, going to meetings, showing PowerPoints, negotiating all these things, what is he gonna do? Does he know how to do certain things? Is he resourceful? Not does he have resources, but is he resourceful? Can he come up with ways to ensure his family is safe when shit hits the fan? Can he contribute to a community that has to do something about the position they were put in? Oh, I live in this small community. Oh shit, the lights went out, nothing works. My car won't start because it's a fucking onboard computer. All these things. How, who's going to be the most valuable of that community? The guy that goes downtown and talks on the phone and looks at his little computer software and all that shit all day? Or the guy that knows how to make shit happen, use his hands, and get shit popping? That can pick up a gun, that knows how to protect, that knows how to fight, all these things. That knows how to build shit, that knows how to scrape together parts and pieces of things to get some electricity cracking. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that white collar dudes are useless. No, they're not useless in that sort of situation. But guess who they would be deferring to in that community when they can't get to work, when everybody has to scrape together to make shit happen? They're going to be looking to the blue collar guys to make shit happen. The best they can do is try to step up and take some sort of leadership role, because they got to get the gab, and you know what I'm saying? They have to be diplomatic and all these other things. That's where they might have value, but that would not be valuable if they did not have guys who know how to work with their hands within the community, making shit happen. The guy who owns the company I work for is an accountant. You understand what I'm saying? He's an accountant. Well, he's the president. He's an accountant, right? He's real good with numbers. He's real good with tracking, the budget, making sure we're not losing money here and there, and where's the money going. Yeah, he's good with that. He's good with that, understanding that level of the game. But it's the guy that's in the trailer on the job site that knows how to make that shit go in, and knows what obstacles could be in the way, can foresee certain things, knows the code, knows this, knows that, know how to calculate voltage drop, knows how to calculate resistance, all that type of shit, knows what size wire you should be using for a certain size motor, all that type of shit. We know how to get that shit. We know how to find it. We know how to make it happen. But most importantly, we know how to install the shit if we had to. We can go out there, we can put our tools on, and we can get the shit cracking. Anyway, that's all I got for now, guys. I just thought I'd touch on that real quick. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get off this thing. You guys stay safe. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. For all you mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. And we're gonna keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.